Okay.
One of our members, Nancy Goodenough, has agreed to perform a program tonight on the use of AI and Photoshop in some of our images and other images she might have to explain how this whole thing will work for the good or the bad. So, as most of you know, Nancy, she's been in the club for a very long time and has been a master also for a long time and a wonderful mentor for so many of us. So, and again, thank you for coming tonight and being our program.
And there'll be portfolios when I'm done afterwards, going through.
Oh, great. I'd forgotten that.
I can't promise I won't be wordy though. Well, I want to thank, I got 7 members that sent me, and I want to thank you for doing that and allowing me to mess with your pictures. And also thank Steve Minch for holding my hand for doing this. Okay, so let me do the technical thing here, share the screen. And oh shoot, this is coming. Yeah. Where I want preview. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at what's in the new 2024 Photoshop, which is very controversial. It has something called generative AI. And it's got parts of what's like some of the other programs, but very useful for us as photographers. And there are some things that you may want to use, and there's some things that I'll show you that you'll go, I'm not going to touch that. But it's good to know what's there. And I'll talk a little bit about what's allowed. I mean, at this point, pretty much not anything I'm going to talk about today is allowed in competition at this point, just in the critique feedback category. I wanted to do this as very interactive. We'll see how that goes. So you can leave your, you could turn mute off. I'm welcome to take ideas and questions. I hope that works. And I'm going to go through images and show you what I did. In some cases, I may just go through the layers, turning them on as I go and explain. But that gets kind of boring. What I think I'm going to do on some of them, or at least to try, is to do it from scratch, to show you what I did. And the thing about these is every time it's different. I cannot get one thing that would be exact to be the same. So I'm going to take a chance with that. And at various times you could say, oh, why don't Nancy try and I'll try it. We'll see what happens. But I think it'll make it more interesting. But the idea of this, even though a lot of people have issues with AI in general and with what's happening lately, we read a lot. And I thought I'll just take the bull by the horn and see what it is. See, experience it myself and experience it with your pictures. And even if the only thing that you get out of it is using it as a tool to loosen up, I don't feel like sitting down and working on images. You could pick an image and just start playing with it, kind of like I guess singers do with scales, or runners, get ready to run. It might just be something to get the juices flowing at the least end. And another thing that I find is it may give you ideas, some really good. There's a few things I go, oh yeah, I'm not going to use that because that's not mine, but the concept, I'm going to try doing that. So that's one of the things I'd like to take a look at. I'm going to start with Photoshop, and then I'm going to go into showing a little bit about Midjourney, which is one of the AI programs. And let's just see. But basically what good old George Bernard Shaw here is, yeah, we're growing old. But oh, he didn't exactly say that, but let's play. And I think the most interesting part of this might be some words you may or may not have noticed. It's right here underneath his name that this was an AI generated graphic with his picture. So there's
Wow.
some uses for this sort of thing. And I would say this is basically what it's all about, this particular cartoon. Because, you know, what is this thing? You pour a bunch of data in a big pile and collect the answers on the other side. And what if the answers are wrong? You just stir the pot until they start looking right. That's what we're doing. I mean, this is literally what I have been doing for the last couple months, getting ready for this and learning how to do it. And you know, that's a visual. And if I were to be able to sing, I do a little Rolling Stone, a little Stones, and say, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you just might find you get what you need. So think about that as you're getting frustrated because you're not getting what you want. Okay, a little bit on the telling about stuff. Every time I hit the generate, and I did hundreds and hundreds of times since I started doing this, they're going to start charging not money for this in the 2024 Photoshop, but that whenever you hit generate, it's going to use what they call 1 credit. Now, for instance, it's called tokens in some programs. Credits is what Adobe calls it. And what you'll get free, or at least what you'll get to start with, is, oh, and you can do as many times as you want until November 1st. After Halloween, they're going to start counting how many times you hit generate. And if you, like me, have the cheap $9.99, the original photography, $9.99 a month, you get 250 credits. If you went for the little bit bigger one, well, they cost twice as much. It costs $20 a month. You're going to get double the credits, which is 500. When you run out of your credits, it doesn't stop. What happens is it just gets slow. This uses a whole lot. This is going out and using a whole lot of computer energy. In fact, I think there was Anne showed me an article in the PD that said that AI is basically going to be using the amount of electricity as a few small countries. It's really huge amount of computer power. So what's happening?
That be enough to not use it?
Yes. Well, I'm not helping the next generations by talking about it. But basically it is well, but do you stream movies? Because that uses a lot of power. Anyway, we all do, unfortunately. So what happens is it just slows down. But if you want more fast after your allotment, you can, for $5 a month, you get 100 more credits. So that's that. And since we're talking about PSA, PSA is, you know, is far more conservative than N4C or us. And they have taken a stand on AI creations. And basically they are saying that images created in whole or in part by image creation software are not allowed, in whole or in part, not allowed. So just even me adding real estate, instead of using content aware fill, I use the generative AI fill, which is creating stuff that's not allowed. And then they go a little bit further and they say any person submitting or attempting to submit a totally AI generated image that does not begin with a light capture from the maker shall be prohibited from PSA for a period of 3 to 5 years. So you're banned. You're you're banned from PSA if you try to submit. But this is a totally AI generated, which is a little different from in part. But I thought that was interesting. What is N4C thinking of doing now? Trisha or Pat may know something further about this. This is totally from Doug Stinson, who I believe used to be a president of N4C, and he's involved in a lot of things. He is making a proposal to from the current usage to changing the preamble and the creative category to allow a bit of this in creative. And basically, and if you're interested in reading this, this is going to be on YouTube. So go to YouTube, go through, stop it to read it. But basically, it's that if you're using AI generated elements, as well as things like clip art, digital art that's not allowed right now, that it can be used if it's allowed in a particular category. They use the word division. So creative is that they're saying that the generative AI can be used to add elements to or modify the image. So this is just a proposal he was working on. Again, I don't know how far along it is, but there's a possibility in creative you might be able to use a little bit of this.
Well,
as long
that's
as
the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, well, he hasn't brought it forward.
No, I know.
I'm part of a group that also Charlie Ginsberg is involved with this, and he's also looking at how it could be used in creative. And it, it'll take forever to get through the group, and there's going to be people who aren't for it. So
I think he has some good ideas. I think creative at least allows people to play with it, and you're not totally banned, and then maybe people become more aware of what they're doing when they're using Photoshop in case they didn't know they were doing AI.
Exactly, because a lot of part of my doing this is to let you all know there's things you would just think, oh, cool, and not know that. I mean, did you know that the remove tool that was in before, it's both in I think in Lightroom, but in Photoshop, the remove tool actually is using AI. It's not going out like the other one is, the generative is, but it's actually it is machine taught, and it is changing the background. And so you'd use remove, no idea that it's an AI tool, and actually would not be allowed if it was known.
Not allowed in pictorial, for example,
Not
but maybe
allowed,
creative.
not allowed in any of the categories, because yeah. So if you use well, people won't know. They just don't know. Anyway, now those of you who are here, know. So you've heard. Oh, go ahead. Somebody. You've heard.
Thank you.
You've heard about various entries that were AI generated winning contests. Here's an example of the opposite. Here was somebody whose actual photograph was disqualified for being AI. And then this is actually this woman's photo is of her son with two mannequins. The mannequins, that looks like Lenin, doesn't it? The mannequins look very AI generated, makes it look AI generated. So it works the opposite as well. And in fact, I've had some images that now that people know I'm playing with it, have thought, oh, that must be AI. And no, it's me. So you don't know. And
how do they figure this out, though? Are you going to tell us how they know whether it's AI or not? I mean, how do they be able to monitor this?
A lot of it is honesty. Now there is, I'll show you a link to an app or an online link to, it's called, Is It AI? And you put an image in, and it tells you percentage wise how much it's human made versus AI and guessing. And it doesn't guess right all the time. It's just guessing. So there is a tool, but you might put this one, and I didn't think to do it ahead of time, maybe I'll try, and to see, it may come back saying it's AI or not, but it's just a guess. Okay, so let the show begin. I'm gonna go to Photoshop. And I'm going to start with Jennifer. Let's see, where do I put this? Do you see you don't see the name, the people going around, right? Because that's just done. I can put it down here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Oh, it won't pop. So how do I, there we go. So this came from Jennifer. In fact, I asked her, I saw her talking about this image and I said, send it to me. Because it was suggested that it might be nice to have a sailboat in here. So I'm just going to wing it and tell you what I would do. The first thing I would do is I always copy the background so I don't mess it up for some reason. And what I want to do is I really want more space for the sailboat. So I use the crop tool. There's probably a way to do this without doing it that way. Oh boy. Okay. So you get the whole image, and how much do I want to add? I want to add a bunch to the bottom. Let me get it this smaller so we can see it. And what happens is when I do that, where did oh, shoot. Huh. I mean, this is most important. The
little bar is down at the bottom.
Your screen.
Generative expand.
Oh, so something's in its way. So let me, I don't know why it's not showing.
I can see it. You want to just put your cursor near the bottom and move it to to the left of the screen. Oh, nope, not that far. It's kind of in the middle, a little to the right of the middle. Yeah.
Right in there. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
See if I have it on that. I mean, that's the critical piece of this, of course.
I don't see it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Is it working on it?
I don't see why I'm. In fact, nothing's working. I'm dead. Oh, Steve. I have my cursor's not working, and if I close Photoshop, I've got all my images across the top in order, of course. Well, thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Oh, it's generating.
I see something there.
It's generating.
Yeah. And
yep. Hey, and there's the photo.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
And one nice thing is you can, oh, it's gone again. It went away.
It's down there. I see it.
Okay.
If you could grab it, you could move it up to the top.
Yes, because that's the whole thing is you can move it. Oh, that's it. That was something was in the way. I got it.
Okay.
I'm back. Okay, I got it. So now you'll see a 1 of 3 on this box that I was trying to find. And if you go to properties and you have to move it, because unless you have open wide enough. You've got the 3 variations over here. So you can either go through them this way, or a lot of times I just keep my cursor. So there's version 1, there's version 2, there's version 3, completely generated. And I mean, I kind of like that one, but let's hit it again for another use of credit. And I'll get 3 more variations. And so the 6 variations are now, I can see over there, and it starts back with 1 is the newest one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6. Which one do you want me to use?
Not this one.
5.
Okay, 5. Does that look good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll use this one. And actually it's kind of nice because this is a good space for the sailboat.
Only
So-
thing is that on the bottom, there's 2 spots that look like they were copied from each other.
Here.
Yeah, that one and the one right next to it, to the right.
Okay, well, let's just since you kind of like that one, let's just now I'm not going to use the crop tool. I'm either using the rectangular marquee or the lasso, but this kind of right in here, I'm going to generate generative fill. Now I could write something in there. I find in many cases, all I want to do, oops, I didn't want to deselect. Shoot. Okay. History, deselect rectangular marquee. Come on,
You want it back?
You
Yeah.
have to cancel first.
cancel. But I was just gonna, okay, I'll do Command Z then. Okay,
That's good.
that's good. Okay, it did. Gave me something different. You never know. So I'm just going to I hit that and I'm going to just clean up that part down there. I know it's already cleaned up, but I wanted to show you me doing it. Okay, and here I'm going to have 3 choices. 1, 2, 2's kind of nice, huh? 3. Which one do you like?
2.
2, I think it balances it off nicely. Okay, now all I'm going to do is to put a sailboat in here. And, oh, okay, don't want.
How about a red sailboat?
Okay, I'll say red sailboat. You're asking a lot of the program. But this is perfect. The way you're offering suggestions, love it. Sailboat. And you want to give a big enough space for you to go in. Sometimes it gives a instruction, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, I'll ask for one.
Oh, I like it.
Like that sailboat?
That's great.
That's a nice
Oh,
sailboat.
better.
Yeah. Oh, and I like the divisions in there. It makes it comfortable for sitting.
Maybe we
So-
should have Jennifer pick.
Well,
Mhm.
I think we need to do a few more before we come close to having an actual sailboat. I'm trying again. That's well.
It's like a shoe.
That's a little closer. I think I'm going to do is to go from this one and just do a whole new layer. And I'm gonna do sailboat and see what it does.
Yeah, the red threw it off.
You know,
Yes.
it's you don't know what. Oh, and there's always a tip of suggestions while you're waiting. Yeah, it's closer to a sailboat.
Yeah.
Two. Oh, no, there you go. Isn't that magnificent? I'm gonna say sailboat with reflection. It should make it smaller then. It might fit in there better because, well, these have a reflection, but we'll see. Well, you can see this is where that pile, and then you just stir it up. We're doing the stirring.
That's a sailboat?
I know, really.
I asked
It
for
looks like a baby buggy almost.
There. Now that may not be a sailboat, but it might work for us. So that's
It has a
one.
mast.
Oh, that's kind of cool. And it's red. 2, 3.
Three.
You like 2 or 3?
I like to.
2, 3. Let's go with 2.
Yeah,
It's a nice.
that's a good one.
It may not be what we want.
Has a reflection.
As a reflection, it kind of fits into the scene.
Yeah.
But I really do want it. I want a more panoramic view. Oh, by the way, every time you do a generation, the question has been asked before is how much is the resolution the same? And it's actually right now it is anything, it's only up to 1024 pixels on one side. Anything more than that is at a lower resolution, and supposedly for more credits in the future, you'll be able to do higher resolution images. So if you're going to do any expanding, you want to do a little bit at a time, depending on how how important it is for pixel peeping.
Yeah. I can see a problem with the reflection too, is that a real reflection would reflect the movement of the water, the ripples, where
Right.
it doesn't here. It doesn't appear to, so that would be something to be careful of, isn't it?
Very much.
And the sky.
Mhm.
Mimicking the
We can-
sky also is a problem.
Yeah. So there's a one side, 1, 2, 2's not bad, or 3.
Oh, that looks nice.
Like 3?
Yeah.
I'll just go back. 2, 3.
Yeah, I think that looks more natural.
Okay. Now we're going to do the other side. Let me make this a little smaller. And I'm going to. And I could request something, but I find again, generally requesting things just gets it in trouble. And by the way, working in Midjourney, lots of problems. It isn't, there could be some very beautiful things resulting, but it's as frustrating. Okay, so 1, 2, or 3.
3.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I think just and I'm going to do both at the same time. A disadvantage with doing both is if you like one side and not the, well, you can change that. We can change it. So I'd like to actually see it more panoramic. So I'm going to do that. So Jennifer, how do you like your image now?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. That first red boat when it appeared was so shocking.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Good.
It's a nice contrast.
Yeah.
This is really interesting how wow.
Yeah.
It's generating all kinds of weird things.
Yeah, I mean, this is no longer where you were.
Right,
So
right.
there's 3, 2, 1, or you want to try something new. Of course, this one's coming together in the ends. Maybe if I keep it and then just add some more over here, I can get it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I know I asked you, but I'm going to. I know I, I, I,
They're your credits.
for my credit.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
But
it
don't you have unlimited till November 1, right?
limited until November 1.
Right.
And so that'll put the boat a little bit over to the edge. I like that. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
From 1, 2, 3. You want 3,
No,
1. What?
Yeah, that looks more natural.
Yeah. And while we're at it, well, okay, I could add to the top and bottom, and you've got the picture. So what we started with was this. And what we ended up with was that.
Ah. Now it's interesting on that, because if you took one of your layers and you decide to just turn that layer off, not get rid of it, but just hit the little eye and turn it off, you can see what it did to each different part of it because you've got so many layers.
Exactly. I mean, I go down, in fact, on some of them, that's what we're going to do, because
Yeah.
rather than going through this process and everything, I'm going to show you something I did ahead and then go through them, and we could stop at them and generate new things at that level. Would you like to turn it into a painting?
I have a
Sure.
question before you do that. Is the AI generated information as sharp as Jennifer's original?
Can you? Oh, that looks like it's a little
Fuzzy.
fuzzy, a little bit. Oh, here. I mean, there's a difference between that one and that one. That part when I add it on.
Yeah, Jennifer's is sharper.
So do you want to turn this one into a painting?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to, let me get rid of that red sailboat. Oh, by the way, let's look at our old original sailboats. I mean, I could put that in if we prefer it. And then there were, but then again, I've changed things, so it would, anyway, so we have this one. I'm going to do is, I don't remember if I have to or not, but I'm going to stamp visible. So we're starting with it. Now this is tricky. You can Google it. There's different ways of doing it. And it sounds difficult, but it's once you get used to it, it's not. You hit the Q key, which puts you into quick edit. And then you go over to your you want the foreground to have been black. And then you want to pick the B to be, oh, this is, no, I want it. Something got changed. So I want 0, 0, and I want 40 for the and it's going to be 40% painting and the rest is from the picture. But basically you set it up so that that's that, and then I fill it with this foreground that I just set up, and it covers it like this, and then I hit Q to get out of it. Now it is set up for me being, you see generative fill showed up. You have to go through that process of Q, having the 40% black, and then fill with that, and then Q again to get this to show up.
40% blue. Wasn't that RGB?
Oh, that's, was it RGB? Because when it was said by Adobe, it said brightness. But anyway, another way of doing it is using channels. So it's probably the B channel or something. I didn't do it the channel way. I did it the way that Adobe set it up. So I can't answer that, but I do exactly what they said, and it works. So and for you, well, you know. So what I do now is, let's say, do you want to try watercolor, oil, chalk, acrylic,
Oil.
oil painting? Dun, 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 dun.
Do you have a link to the Adobe instructions?
I do. I don't know if I still have, but all I did was Google Adobe PS 2024 painting style. And there were a whole bunch of tutorials. So, you know, and I looked at a couple of them. So here's one. There's another. And there's another. And then
Universally awful.
Yeah.
they're personally awful, did you say?
Those are all very broad strokes.
Yeah.
If you said oil pointillistic, you might get something very different.
Maybe now one thing you can do is do a percentage, and you can get a little bit more things sometimes. Because we're not purists on this. Well, anyway, so let me try that. Oil painting, pointillism, did you say with pointillism?
Pointillistic?
Oil painting, or the whole thing, pointillistic.
Oil painting pointillistic,
Okay.
or pointillistic oil painting. Either one.
Pointillistic. I don't have the fill at 100, but we'll see. And you see, I could do it on the same, this is in the same grouping. I just changed the name. So 1, 2, 3.
I like
I don't
one.
really- yeah, I don't really like any of them. You know, but that's okay. Let's I'm going back to my stamp visible one to do a new thing. Acrylic, since acrylic is close. Oh shoot, whatever I did got me out of it. So I go to history and see select variation. Just want to go here. I don't want that. Oh, because I have to start over again, of course. Q. And this should be set up the same, so I don't have to do it. It's B.
You're
Oh,
right,
yeah,
it's
it wasn't-
brightness. Yeah.
It is brightness. So that I need to fill and do foreground color. Okay. Q and oh, why is it? Well, I'm going to put acrylic painting. I don't think I need painting, but and this way I at least can see that it's going. So with this, we'll have gone through steps so that we don't, oh, I know what happened. To see, I didn't get rid of the eyeball. Oh, look at that. That's 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's just try it again to see what happens. Because I find acrylic works much better than oil.
Have you tried anything like saying in the style of John Singer Sargent?
Let's try that, but let's see. Oh,
I think he did seascapes. I can't I don't remember.
This is like the what you call it, the flying nun.
What
Anyway,
I'm curious about though, Nancy, is it using the generative fill image now? I mean, with after you already oil painted it, is it working from the oil paint now or
Oh.
from the original?
oh, that's up here. It's working from the original. I went back to the layer, but even when I do that, it goes back to the original, I believe. So you could see that now this might give you some ideas and go, well, look at that. I could take a landscape and put machinery in, you know, I don't know what would, or this is kind of nice. I mean, I like this kind of style in here. But let's do what Steve just asked.
Easier typing is if you use Rubens instead of John Singer Sargent.
Okay, so you want in the style of
Rubens,
Rubens? In the style of Rubens. The
Yeah.
style of Rubens. Okay, is that the way it's spelled?
One question.
Sure.
You've still got acrylic painting.
It doesn't matter, but I
Okay.
wouldn't be able to see what we did. So that when something doesn't work, it's usually user error like that. Okay, generate. But easy to get out of.
Mhm.
Oh, that's kind of nice. Thanks, Steve. Look at what happened to our reflection, but what is that? Some kind of antelope?
Perched on top of the sailboat.
Oh, I like the mailbox.
Yeah.
Didn't I see a mailbox? Yeah. Anyway,
Wow.
enough. Well, oh no, yeah, well, we're gonna do my favorite now. Because you'd never know. Okay. Did I do Q? I think I did. And this is Teresa, this is what I did on the one that I showed you last night that I did. It's called Cartoon Vector. And it's free, okay? And then I'll move on to the next. But we spent the time on this so you got a chance to like experience going through a lot of the kinds of things.
Oh,
That's nice.
you have a scholar on the ship.
Yeah, we do.
Ah,
Yeah. So, yeah, well,
Could I ask you if it's possible to make the brush strokes smaller?
I don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you can't. Let me try it and let me write the next time. I'm doing one right now. I'm going to say smaller brush strokes or so. Oh, look, we got a turtle and
there's it.
and half a duck, half duck. So, do you want it on one of the other ones rather like on the oil painting or? Since that's more brush strokey, let me just write oil paint, let's say, pointillistic, small brush strokes. It's AI, but it's sometimes not very intelligent. So we'll see.
That's because it's artificial.
There you go.
It's improving very rapidly, almost from week to week. And I was generating a lot in the style of, and a week later, they came out with a new version. I put in the same prompts and I got way better in the style of particular artists. I went to the New York Met and got a list through every artistic period. The most famous painters took a single core phrase and said, in the style of whatever name, and that phrase, and I got incredible art.
Thank you, Steve, because that's very interesting. Well, I just want to show the one that I made was this one. And then I did various like oil painting, the cartoon vector, acrylic. I realized later that I was calling it pen and ink, and I kept wondering why I kept getting these projectiles in it. It took it literally that it wanted pen and ink, and it gave me a pen. And my very favorite, well, chalk art, that one didn't do so. Well, anyway, so let's move on to Ellen. This was a request from Ellen. This was her. She said, I wish I would have gotten the hand and the foot in. And so she said, so she tried it. And she said, this is what I ended up with. This is her work. And she said, well, she got the boot much better than I did. But the hand's a little Frankenstein-y, which any AI, the hands, they're terrible at hands and feet, and a lot of times faces, but the hands are just notorious. So I gave it a shot, and you can see this is because I added, so we're gonna, well, the first thing I did was I liked it better with something different over there. Oh, but I wanted to show you what it would be like using remove instead, the remove tool. Nope, I can't do it on that. Never mind. I forget it has to be a, well, no, I'm not going to play with that right now. So then what I did is I added the hands. Okay, why isn't it showing me the different? Shoot. Is there any, oh, because I'm not on the layer. It's Photoshop. Got it right. So here are some options I got. Holding hands, another holding hands. It probably looks better than the other. And you'll notice it also has changed the background. Let me go back one so you can see. So it let's see, without it, it was like half of a person there. This one finished off the person, and this one added a bunch of other people. So, and a very ugly hand. This is the one I chose, and I stopped here because I go, okay, it's kind of a big hand, but at least it's a hand. And then I went to add a foot, and my versions weren't very good. Yeah, this that one looked sort of okay. I mean, there's with a heel.
What if you said matching boot?
Okay, let's try that. Thank you. Matching boot. And you can also put in no, like no people or no words, but don't count on it listening. Matching boot, it's closer.
Yeah, that is, yeah. Cool.
Ellen, did you say matching boot?
I did.
You
You know
did.
what?
Oh.
Nice.
Much better, except, it'd be nice if it connected.
You
Now,
probably
what
just
if you-
moved it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
What if you took, like, say, your hand, and now that you've generated, and you like the background of your extra space that you put in on the right, but you just wanted to change the hand, can you do a selection of that? Say, use your lasso button and click on it, just circle the hand and come up with different hands?
Yes, you can. In fact, I was just thinking that for the boot.
Ah. I guess you can, but you don't know what you're
That's
gonna
pretty
get.
good. That's
Yeah.
that's a fancy one. I mean, I
Yeah.
would stop at that. And now with this, if I could, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, and let's just say background. I don't know if I need to say background. So I'm gonna get rid of that part of the boot. I might have said match background. Let's see what else it did. Well, match boot. Then we'll move on, but you get the. Yeah.
You could actually move that though, couldn't you, without using generative AI? If you like that boot, you could just move it over a little bit.
But you can imagine what's going to happen. Background is going to move with it. Unless you masked it and moved it, but then
Yeah,
you'd
that's
have,
what I was thinking. Yeah.
I mean, yes,
The
you can.
shadow's wrong too.
Yeah, it is wrong. And so unless you if there's something you really like, of course you save it and you put it in something else, or whatever. But every time you do it, it's going to be different, and you'll never see the same thing twice. I actually, I didn't hit generate. Did I? After this, we'll go to Ronnie. And I know Ronnie's probably in the UK, I think. Well, anyway, let's go ahead. So Ronnie sent a bunch of her wonderful, these wonderful images. And we're going to mess them up. First of all, I always copy the background. And I think I want to add an insect on this. Insect.
Just a point of interest, at Photoclave, Ronnie has agreed to do 4 setups of still lifes for people to photograph as they visit the vendor tables.
And you probably see
Nice.
that these are not, yeah, that is very nice. So I'm going to say black beetle because I think it'll show up better. Beetle. Oops, I spelled beetle wrong. Let's see how smart it is. Is it?
Ended up with Ringo Starr.
That's what I was hoping for, maybe a little. Well, let's spell it right. And if I didn't have like hundreds of, I held tabs open and all this stuff, it would probably be faster, but anyway. So black beetle. Oh, I'm going to stop now with that because I want to get to a few more things. with it. I am make it a little smaller so I have the space. I'm going to so in order to expand the canvas, to get generative expand, you have to use the crop tool around. And I'm going to add to the bottom. Now, I like to see what it does without me telling what to do. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Oh. Well, let's try again just for the heck of it, and then you tell me which one to work with. Oh, you could put, sometimes I put tablecloth or draped or table, you know, old, you know, antique table. You know, there's various things. That's kind of nice too. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, I like the draping there. 3. That's kind of cool. 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3.
I like 3.
3. Let's stop at 3. Okay, I want to put something in here. I've put in a stuffed animal. You could put in a dead crow.
But it's skull.
Yeah. I want to see a
crow?
dead crow.
Dead crow. Okay, and I'll show you what this. I want to give. Of course, it's dark, but we'll see. Dead.
A dove will show up better than a crow. The crow will be very dark.
We'll start with crow, and the next round we'll do dove. Turtle dove. Because let's see if it handles that. It doesn't.
No.
It, well, yeah,
Oh, there it is.
there it is.
What about a glass of some type, like a wine glass or something, to see if it picks up reflections from it?
Yeah, we'll try putting it on the other side. Let's try a dead dove, dead white dove.
Yep.
And it could have been like in the style of, and then there's a
Oh,
Yeah.
bleeding.
Oh, goodness.
oh, how nice. We get blood. Now in a case like this, and if I wanted something like this, I can, am I I'm on there.
How about
I
white
have to
ladies' gloves?
Say what?
Ladies' gloves.
Ah, like your in your, yeah. White ladies' gloves, or how about
Yeah.
tan? Say
Tan's good, yeah.
tan ladies. Well, okay, I'll use just like that. Gloves. Old
Yeah, there you go.
old tan ladies' gloves.
Not old ladies' tan gloves.
Yeah. Thing. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, like gardener gloves.
Is that a dove or a glove?
That's a dove.
Uh,
We're doing Wordle too much, huh?
so, you know, as far as that went,
there-
I can kind of match. I can kind of match it, you know. And so I had a request for a vase, was it, or a glass?
Oh, either way, I was wondering how it handled glass, because like if you know, there should be a reflection on it, you should be able to see a little through it, but we'll see what the program does. You know, so if you wanted to put
yeah.
a wine glass or a vase or something like that, you
Why
know, how
don't I
would it
start
handle
with
it?
the glass? Because I didn't take up enough space, and then I'll put up for reflection on the bottom and see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, just because that's something that people might want, you know, just like
Glass
Want
of
a
milk.
glass of milk?
glass
With
of
your white
milk.
dove.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So
Funny.
About a clear
Wine
glass.
glass.
Oh, right.
Well, you can see how this is fun. This how this can be
Yeah.
kind of like loosen up. It's like we're
Mhm.
laughing and we're like, when the bad things happen, it's kind of okay. So there's a wine glass. Oh, that's kind of interesting. And let's
To
try.
add it, can you make it a different size?
No, I mean I don't. I could maybe. Let's go back and try that, but I'm going to try reflection. Let's just see what happens. I mean, it did seem to try to do it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Refl-
And I would also then make that one, sorry, Steve, just a second. I would reduce that. So, I mean, we could do more stuff. I'll show you some of the stuff. Or you have any more? Oh, Steve, did you have a request? I know. Why don't we do it in the style of? What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah.
Renoir.
Okay, Q, and I've already gotten that set, so that's fine. And I do my fill. Okay. Q, and then I get in the style of spelled correctly, I believe.
Yes.
And I didn't do a stamp visible that time. I'm assuming it's just gonna work, but it might work only on the top thing. Well, no, I did do. There is a
Oh,
My goodness.
that's really cool.
Save that one. That is
That's hilarious.
cool.
yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, goodness.
I like that one.
It's
Yes.
unbelievable.
Cool. Ronnie's gonna freak.
Yeah. Oh. Boy, you can go through your 250 images really fast. Oh.
I'm just saying Renoir mask.
Yeah.
I'll at least have it here. Okay. Here I just want to show, here's one that I did. There's the bug, and and here's the first one that I did.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
When I added some stuff, and there was a bug there, and so just this is one Ronnie sent, and I did a lot of different things with it. We won't go through everything unless you end up wanting to, which is perfectly fine with me because I love doing this, but I didn't want. Yeah. So I didn't. The layers didn't get saved, but you could see here's the original thing, and I was like, I said add a bronze horse sculpture, and I was saying different things, and I said add a pigeon or a dove or something, and then I added further over, and then I said add a clown. I had lots of clowns, and then it needed something, and so you could do something serious, or you can just sort of see.
And even the lighting works good.
Yeah, I mean, here's one that I did to do it again, and so if I wanted to look and see what clowns were, I said standing clown. So here are some of the clowns I got. Oh, and so that's where I just said clown. And what I needed was standing clowns so that it was like standing over it. So, and then I did a generative fill on the top of it so that it would change it. So, and this is a different version of that I did. So you can see my my bronze horse sculptures are different ones. Okay. And this was something Ronnie sent, very Ronnie wabi-sabi picture. And I, was tired of doing some of the same stuff. And I had thought, well, let me add steampunk instead of, watercolor. And actually there was a, let's see, before that. So this is one that I had done when she'd first sent it to me. It was one of the first things I did. It was I added a flower. Okay. So then later, basically I was said steampunk, and then I ended up, and I kind of like that. I like that idea. And what I could do is take away the that and end up with it as a head on it. So we had this, and I'm glad to entertain you. I got that. So it's kind of like and here's an idea. In fact, Ronnie does this kind of stuff. She does interesting things with her pictures. She could make or find something steampunk to take a photograph of and put that on top of her wabi-sabi. Or Trisha, you're a wabi-sabi.
I'm writing it down about the mannequin. You use a mannequin to do that.
We've got, after me, your mannequin comes up. So when I decided to do this, well, when I first heard about this is a picture I took in 2012. Diane Miller was around, and those who remember her, she had very specific rules. And you don't ever show a picture of a bird if you've cut off their claws. It's throw it away, Nancy. Well, Nancy doesn't throw anything away, but so it took 11 years later that we get this program. And so basically, I'll show it in the next one. Okay. So I won't go through all of them, but I ended up with dark wood was the one. There's some variation. So it's number 2. Oh, couldn't you have to show this is the wrong. I'm doing the wrong layer. Let me go back. Oh, right. I was switching. Oh, right. Properties. I need to look at properties. Looks like it was probably that one. I know. History. Just go back, Nancy. Go back. Yep. So I got it on there, and I wanted to try various backgrounds. So I masked the subject, which was pretty easy, inverted it, and then I put trees. So I asked for background, I think, at this point. So here are some of the, get on the, properties. so I think this was green foliage bokeh. And this was dark green foliage. Seeing what I could get. And this was still dark green foliage. Where's that one I liked? Oh, okay. So that was later. And then this one, that was the one I picked. So I said trees. So I'm getting different trees. And I personally like that one. I would get rid of this, but I wouldn't have thought of purple with that. So that was one idea. And then I did it because in practicing, I would start from scratch and do it again. And this time, I had written dark foliage with bokeh. And much to my surprise, this worked for me. I wouldn't have thought a brown and tan white background with a bird that was of those same colors would work. I would probably want to have that stump on the bottom with this.
Yeah.
That's nice because some of the other ones, it makes the bird look like it's cut out, but with the background that similar color, it doesn't look cut out. It looks very natural.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I'm like, here's where generative AI in my playing gave me something that to consider. Or let's just say this was like historical to me and I wanted it. And then I go and I take that stump from the other one and put it in there. And I want a little printout, little picture next to me. You know, I can do it. I didn't create this, but I created it. Or I chose it, or whatever it is I did to get here. You could see its work. You can see it takes choosing what is it and what's the next thing to do. And it may not be able to be put into competition, but it can certainly go into creative feedback, see what a judge thinks of it. Now we get to Trisha. I wouldn't have to say Trisha, would I have? So she sent me this and asked me to see what I could do to take the hair out of the eyes and keep I believe it was to keep the color and hairstyle the same, but make the hair longer.
I wanted the hair longer.
Yeah. And I didn't very much succeed on the hair longer, but here's what I did is first thing I did was I needed to add some real estate. No, I guess the first thing I did was show the face to try to show the face. I said, show face. And my options that came up. Let's help show the layer. So 1, 2, and the eyeballs are terrible that in terms of focusing. You know, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't know. Was that the one that might have been the one that I stopped at? Let's see.
It's just they're so big. The eye's so big.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, you could play and play and play with it. And so then what I did was I said remove hair, and it gave me new ones. Which one was chosen? I don't remember which one I chose.
That one looks good. Oh,
it might have been. I don't know.
I
think I chose that one because I remember thinking I needed to make the other eye blue. And then I expanded the right. I don't know which one I used. And then I said longer hair. There's your longer hair, Trisha. You like it?
Being like her.
How about her?
Oh yeah.
I mean, uh, Trisha didn't get to see that one. And then I did longer hair is what I said again. Okay. Oh, that's the same one. Never mind. Okay, so that's where I had last, and then I said hair extensions. Since longer hair didn't work,
Uh-huh.
I said hair extensions. And
Her eye looks better.
well, how's this one for a hair extension?
Happy Halloween.
Oh, well. And I think I went back to this one. And then I just picked this part here and said long hair. And you know, it didn't give what she wanted, but it made the hair longer. And I could have, and what I could have done was extended the, oh, I know what the problem was. I tried to, and we'll see if it, I'm going to see what happens, because this will be fun for you to see if it happens, what happens. So I said longer hair on the other side, and you know, I just got it was not good. So I decided to go for extra credit since I didn't make it. And I said, I said background. I said it's street scene background. And so I had a bunch of possible. Well, that didn't do it. So, and then I said there was a new background, and I said, let's see, I said store window background, because she should be in a store window. So I had 12 options that I did, I think, on that one.
What about wearing a long-haired wig?
Okay, let's try it. I think what I'll do is I'll go back. To this one. I think I need. Okay, I'll just say. Oh, I'll put it around the whole thing. I won't, it's not as a crop one, just like this, and say wearing a long hair wig.
I wonder if we could consider making her face more realistic.
Okay.
And this is great, Jane.
There you go, more realistic.
Oh, funny. Oh, my.
Okay.
Didn't work.
So I'm going to start with this one here. Select subject. Wait. It looks like I've got it select subject. Okay, just say realistic face, photorealistic, realistic face. You can't always get what you want. Oh, look at that. That's
I
lovely.
love that one.
Now this is where if I were Trisha, and I am, I would look at this one and say, I want to do something like with something with this in mind. I don't know what it would be. It's almost like, let's say, water washing off of a face or something.
Uh-huh.
Dramatic lighting.
I like the lighting.
Yeah, I
I'll
do
just
too.
do I'm just going to do a save this for save a copy. Water on face. Okay. Next is Anne. Anne sent me the very first thing. I asked her to send me this because I thought it had a lot of options. And it's where I played with a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to take us through it because we've done that. I removed trees. I changed the sky a little bit. I played another thing with the sky. I filled that in there. I said, mother holding baby, and I had it put over to the left. That
Oh,
just
well,
as
still.
sort of, maybe it would have done something. But I tried it a lot because I did a number of them. It wasn't really well, actually, that's kind of interesting, but I'm sure her face is what they call hallucinations. These are hallucinations. That's what's called in AI when it does this weird stuff. Okay, that didn't work. So I said David statue. And actually, that one I like, but I think I ended up picking the Buddha. But so I said David statue. So this is what I got for David statue. That one's kind of nice. Although, like I said, I ended up with a different one. So I put this is Anne. So I put migrating. So you have to have an Anne. And then I had shadow. There was shadow of my. Anyways, I ended up putting birds on the floor, and I had a sleeping cat on the table, and then I took it off, and I moved the cat down there, I picked the one looking back at those birds. Of course, each one of these had their own choices, and then I what did this do? Oh, there were plants on the table. I took them off, and I said fish on platter. There's a fish on a platter there. And I wanted a woman in the window. None of those worked very well. And I moved it to another place. And it just the women's faces just didn't work. And I said a tiny aquarium in the window. That didn't work. I had fish swimming. That one was okay. And I ended up keeping this one back here. Did I have it at 100%? Yeah. So that one worked. I had all kinds of options of them. That's the one I picked. And I took out, I don't know what that is, black post, got rid of the black post, and I added a sleeping cat, kind of looking at the birds and the sushi or the fish that was there. Okay, that was for me, the very first thing that I got sent, and it was from Anne. So then, and you've seen what I've done, like here's watercolor, Here's oil painting, another oil painting, another oil painting. This was a watercolor. This is, oh, there were different suggestions. So this is doodle art, which actually came out kind of interesting. Felt painting. Felt painting, interesting. Never would have thought felt painting. I found a site that had a bunch of suggestions, and this was acrylic painting. And that was back to the original thing. Okay, so we've done those, but I wanted to show, sorry, Ann, I didn't spend a lot of time on showing them and going through them, but you were the inspiration on the whole thing. And then many of you have seen this one. This I did, this is all Nancy. This is not AI. It's just me working how I work, but I looked at it and says, you know what, it needs something. And so I wanted it to put people in. And I said, 2 people walking to the left. There's my 2 people walking to the left. There's 2 people walking to the right. 3. And I think I said 2 people looking out. There's my 2 people. Actually, I kind of like that one.
Too many people.
But it's too many people, but as far as, you know, it might have worked. And this one was 2 people walking to the left. There's that, and this wasn't the last one, but I saved it here. This is the one I really liked, and I love this one. And what I think I will do with this at some point is find, or I could even ink in something similar. Oh, I added shadow too. Where's the shadow? Shadow. So I had to play with shadows to see what would work. There was one with shadow. There was a different one with shadow. I forget which one I kept. So that is where I used it in my own, and I really love it. And I think that little teeny bit makes a picture. And for me, the inspiration for me, if I wanted to put this in some kind of competition or show it somewhere where it had to have 100, no AI, I would recreate that however I wanted to recreate it.
Mm-hmm.
It in whatever legal fashion is allowed. And then this was Anza Borrego and a super bloom. I think it was 2019. And I really loved this arrow. And again, it needed a subject. And I thought of cows grazing, had versions of that. Cows grazing was realistic. I said realistic horses. There's my realistic horse.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we've come to expect that, or look at those little sleek things. And the one that, no, not that one, this one. Cow. There were 3.
Like a bull.
Well, yeah, you're right. I asked for a cow, didn't I? Ha, that's funny. Cow. You're right. And I like that one, but I belong to a group out of Bangkok that you put pictures in and to talk about. And I missed this because I didn't see it close up. I missed it. It's easy for me to fix. Is the barbed wire across there, and then to make this I'd work out some way of making that barbed wire. I haven't finished it, but I kind of like the idea of it pointing at the cow. You know, to me, it added to that picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Enough of me. 2 more people. We're getting to you, Teresa, if you're still here. This is Sherry. Sherry sent me this wonderful Palouse, I'm assuming. It was darker. I lightened things up just because when I first did it, it needed that to show what I wanted to show. So, you know, again, the same thing where I took it. Well, in this one, I like made a sunset.
Like,
You know, and there were some different variations. They were pretty good, actually. Well, and expand, let's see, what did I do? Oh, I expanded it so I had room for the train because I wanted to put a train on the track, and I needed space because without it, it wouldn't fit as well, I thought. So then I said steam train. This is actually the best.
Oh,
I'm sure I'm starting with the best. Steam train. Wait, oh, am I on it? No, I'm not on it. Well, at least it's on the track, kind of.
Looks like a big lens.
It does. Oh, no, there's nothing there. What the heck? And I think I had gone to steam train so that it kind of, and I think later I did locomotive, but this actually ended up being a nice thing, that particular one. And then I added a tractor. Oh, I must have moved it. See, I must have moved it because why is it funky there? Up, I moved it. I'm sure I did because look at that. It doesn't match the background. Anyway, so I had an old tractor. So took that. Oh, not that the next one. Here's one of the first that I did. This is, and I lost the, it became a JPEG somehow, and I lost all my layers. And so that's why it ends up, you know, like this. But I actually ended up with an actual train on the actual track. And there's the added, you know, so it actually worked. I just wanted to show that, but I lost it, so I couldn't do it. And then here's the last one for Sherry. But this is
monorail.
derailed.
thank you. So, now what I did is I took this. Isn't that the coolest?
Oh.
Wow.
This is chalk drawing, no text, because it kept putting text in. Well, it doesn't. Supposedly you're able to put no something. Well, it did, but I mean, that is so cool. I'm sorry, that's not your picture at all. It wasn't the sea. It wasn't a road. There weren't like rocks piled. This is all me now.
I have to ask a question, please. Is it possible that somebody would use the same words as you and get the same thing?
Never get the same thing. Is that Teresa?
Yes, it is.
Hi.
Hi.
You're next. You're in the next picture. No. In fact, every time I would run this, you know, I have in this one I have 6 variations. I'm going to run it again, and it will never do the same thing twice. Now those clowns, they look similar. They because they're being taken from. Oh, one thing I didn't mention was then with Adobe, different from some of the problems like with the other AI generation programs that are stealing people's work. Adobe is only using Adobe stock images to train. So it owns the pictures. So you can use them commercially. Anyway, does that answer you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
And by the way, this chalk drawing, I think is a cool one along with the cartoon vector. I mean, there's the one I love, you know, even with yes.
A quick comment on Teresa's question. If I'm not sure you can do it in Adobe, but with some of the other image generators, there are sliders for something like coherence. So you have an image and you slide, let's say you slide the slider up to 90%. So you want it 90% just like what's already there. And then you add a word and it'll change it slightly.
Yes,
If you put the slider way down to like 10%, you get a wide difference.
yes, and on Midjourney, and I have that where I got something I liked, I can do a higher res, and then I could do very slightly kind of things. Also, I can take two different images. Well, my background picture is that, two of my images and have them be put together. But yeah, in the other programs, they're more they're more attuned to that. But just putting it, two different people put in the same thing, which I think was the question, would they ever get the same? And they'll never get the same thing. Now, if you want the same thing, there's things you can do to just adapt it somewhat. And when I said pen and ink, and I didn't realize that pen and ink was going to put, long
Pens.
long pens in it. Oops, I gotta put it on the layer, Nancy. Yeah. Pen and ink, okay. Idea generation, maybe. No. Oh, and there's my pen that I didn't realize. There we go. A little bit of Death Valley with a stylus. And chalk is one of my very favorites. Don't you I love this one. This is one of my faves. And the chalk ones tend to do nice. I mean, yeah. But you can keep hitting the darn button like a monkey trying to get the treat. And then you end up with something interesting. Okay, now for Teresa. Teresa is Numer, was it last year, Teresa?
This piece was 2020.
This was, I understand, from a
my pandemic series.
And I saw this and I was like blown away. I got this last night in bed and I ended up working till midnight or whatever, because it just, I at first, because I don't know Teresa, and many of you, you've gave me your pictures, you knew I was going to do something, and here I haven't. Teresa is a fine artist, a fine art artist, and she's also adding photography to her work. And I was honored to be able to work on it, but I also I wanted to do justice, because look at this. I mean, doesn't this just give you emotion? Mm-hmm. So this was the image that was sent. And so I had to square it off because it wouldn't work well with generative.
Okay.
Yeah, because I really liked how the edges were not even, but I had to do that. And so then I expanded it.
Oh, wow.
I want to show the options because let's see, got that. Okay. A little no. And now that's a funny one. If it was one of the people that I might have played with this, but again, I wanted to give it respect.
You can do anything you like.
But I just wanted to let you know, and I might have done more because I thought maybe I wouldn't want it out as far. But basically, I thought, okay, well, that fits with the concept. And so, but it needed a foot.
Total respect.
Yes.
Well, that was kind of like it went out the window
You
when
have two right feet here.
it, it, it there's no respect of a lot of things. So here are my options.
Oh my God.
Although that one back there was, that the kind of ballet kind of
Leg
look,
warmer.
leg warmer, that was kind of interesting. That one I would have played with. I was going between that one and this one, but I thought, nope, that if I'm going to go for it, I'll go for it. So then I expanded the canvas so that I could do more things. And I expanded it in one direction, I expanded it in the other direction, and there were many different options, of course, for it. And they were all kind of okay. That's kind of an interesting lighting in those. I might have chosen that, but I think I must have chosen that one, I believe. And then I, of course, had to expand the bottom. And then I had lots of choices there too. Let's see, number 5. So here, 1, 2, 3, kind of long, 4, 5, which is what I went with because I really like the ground. That's kind of fun. I might have chosen that one just because it was fun, but and actually that yeah.
Is that another foot?
Yeah. Now that one I also, if I was going for, let's just stick with the fun thing, I could have chosen that one. But I believe it was, I said 5. I chose this because I like the bottom and that. And so then it needed to have shoes. So I just stopped at 3 because I thought that one, okay, that one's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And or maybe it isn't. So let's try some other ones. Yeah, that's good. I must have moved it over or something to make it fit better. Now that one might have worked, or that one, but I think I like the flesh showing. So, okay, so I ended up with this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started with this. And I got that, which was kind of fun. It's playful. And then I did is I went into, I'm going to do the one I like best last. So here's oil painting.
Ooh.
And I did 15 oil paintings. Let's see, this one was number 5. So let's see what I got. And they're all at 100%. Oh, it says oil painting. This one's watercolor. I must have switched in the middle. It only holds on. So this is watercolor. Oh, there's the pencil. Oh, pen and ink. Maybe this is when I figured it out. Duh. It's like, oh, now what the heck?
Drawing.
Yeah. So, and this is acrylic. That's kind of interesting. Oil painting. There you get a feeling of rising up, which is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The sort of ghost in the bottom.
Yeah, yeah. Now this is chalk art. And I tend to like the chalk art ones. I picked number 3. So that's 4. That's missing something. That's kind of interesting, but it doesn't go that well. As far as, well, that one I think is kind of cool.
1 minute more.
And I think what I did is I took that one and I took away
my image.
I took away the background to have the original background just to see what might happen. So that's generative expand. What did I do here? I don't know what that is. Okay. And you do have the high heel left there, but my favorite one is cartoon vector. Oh wait, I got to get rid of these others. This one. And they sent this to Teresa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Very good.
And I got to this and I thought it kept kind of the spirit of the original and completely different.
For you desert rats, that's Death Valley. On the other side is Zabranga Point. I think it's called Zabranga. Zabrinsky. Okay.
Oh, the point. Oh. Yeah.
Gotta go back there.
It looks so much like a squid.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes, it is. But it's out of water and it's like moving up.
Yes.
No, if it's like Peter Max kind of feeling at the top.
Yeah.
Gala lily.
Yeah, I could see it in a gallery.
Okay.
It's a fish sticking its tongue out at a squid.
Yes. Squid in Death Valley.
Well, this is a little bit of Easter Ireland back here.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
So I hope this sort of stuff intrigues you all.
It was great fun. Thank you so much. It's an honor to see what you do.
Now, if we have the time, I can go through it really fast. Mid-Journey.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just going to go from one to another. I asked for a Black woman in 1900 San Francisco riding a horse in a flood through the street. And I got it.
That's very good.
I was, let's see, what's this stuff here? I got to move something. And then this is in Mid-Journey, same thing as a different version. And I thought that was a really good one. I really liked it.
Did you do anything to blur the background?
It did it. I said photorealistic, see, dramatic contrast, black, white, monochrome, photorealistic, and then it doesn't show all the rest of the stuff I said. So here I said, old woman on riding a zebra through floods in the waves in 1900 San Francisco. Well, that's a horse. That's a zebra. That's not an old woman. And then I said 90-year-old woman. And I got some pretty cool ones. And I really like how this zebra matches her striped outfit. But, so you get these different things. And one thing you notice about 1900 San Francisco?
There's cars.
Cars.
So another one, I said no cars.
That's funny.
So you get
motorcycles.
Yeah. Here I get, here's my 90-year-old woman going through San Francisco in 1900.
But they're also worthy.
But yes, they're just wonderful. This one, I love her too. I don't know what, it's a cart or something that's the back of the horse. But her hair, look at how wonderful they did this, This is Mid-Journey. I mean, it does a much better job. Oh, then I was like, I wanted I said, make woman 90 years old realistic. On one of those last ones I showed you. And it did this with that in between. But here's an idea. I'm going to use
Yeah.
this. I really like this idea of having say a woman or person, and then this would I think would blend better. But this is one I like this almost as is. But I mean it's an idea in terms of why would we do this stuff? Well, here's one of the reasons. This one right here. And then I had done the same thing, and you can expand the edges. You can zoom out and make things panoramic or what, but I don't know where the black masked writer came my pick. But you can see I basically got the same woman, and I asked for a variety. I think I asked it for it to vary slightly. And so I got that. And this did it for me. I had expanded it out. There weren't any cars. And I asked for a different version, and I got this one. And then I did some things, and I brought it into generative AI in Photoshop, and I got rid of this guy, and I made this be waves over here, and that, and I think AI doesn't do well with signs. It usually is nonsense in signs and that. But I took this into that. And so I asked for a photorealistic rhesus monkey riding on a giraffe. So two of them ended up real giraffes. I got a rhesus monkey with a kid on it. It doesn't do this very well, and neither did yeah. So and I tried it again, just the same thing, riding on a giraffe. This I loved, and so I chose this one and had it. Now here I've got a kid behind there with fur. I loved this one, and I took it and I made it. I got it so that it up the resolution, and then I took it and I said, give it a jungle background. So it's the same picture. So here you've got the same picture, because that's what I asked for. I just asked for a jungle background. Here's my choices. And then I chose one of them, and then I said more foliage and jungle background. And one of them decided to give me, it needed an extra. But you pick the one you like, you keep going. Now I had said fix eyes. And I really liked this one. Was one of the varieties that came in, and the other one was realistic, but I really like, what are they looking at? So I said fix eyes, and much to my surprise, I got this. Now, some of you who saw the last competition, I put it in critique. It was off of this one. I was like, oh, now another one for ideas. I really like that idea. That's almost like a finger, but that the eye kind of receding, I think that has, with this one has real possibilities too. So I said fix eyes, and then I worked on it. And then I said make it stranger. Well, this is where these names came from, who knows it. And then I doing other versions, and it was really fun, and I ended up using this one, and I brought it into the generative AI part of Photoshop, and I changed some things, and I got this. Oh yeah. So this was from Midjourney. This was taking the same thing into Photoshop, and then some changes. I asked for some planets and stuff. So, and this was another version that came up. It's another good, I like the idea of the eye within the eye kind of thing. And this is what, just to let you know, if you're interested in trying any of these, in Midjourney, you need to sign up for Discord, which is what runs it. You can get your own server, so you're not looking at everybody else's as it goes. But so this is basically these are the various things that I did. And for instance, once I picked something, there's a few things going on at once, but basically U1 means I want to upgrade number one. Number one was that one that I was working on. I upgrade it, and then I took that, and when I got that and I wanted to, I put in more foliage, and at this point I said very subtle. I could very strong. There's very region where you can pick things. There's zooming out, gives it, gives you more realistic. Custom zoom where you can add it to the top or bottom. There's all kinds of things you can do. And I used very simple commands. You can get like a paragraph, a thick paragraph doing this. So that's how that works. Steve Minch works in Leonardo AI, and he's done some amazing things. There. They're going to do, let's see where, they're going to do something where you can put in end up with like generative match, where you can put an image and kind of match a style.
We have a couple minutes left.
And that's some things coming in this. It's about the content credentials are going to be available, so that you can this is on the Adobe, so that it tells that what generative AI was used in it. And that's good, because they care about being good.
Yeah.
You can do generate images to match the style from existing. That you can do that now in like Leonardo AI and Midjourney and those. And here is it AI? Here's where I put in that picture that I said, and it's figures it's about 92% AI. I should wonder if there's a picture I can easily grab that looks realistic. Oh, it's got to be a JPEG.
It's interesting what you said about the Adobe. If you go into Adobe stock, like you wanted to buy an image, you have a choice now between one that includes AI and one that does not. And then I went over to my Getty account, and they don't accept anything to do with AI. And I'm not sure what Shutterstock does. I think they have some AI and some not.
On the
just where
other
it's
hand,
kind of going, yeah.
something else, if you do generate stuff and you'd like to sell it, go to Wirestock, WIRESTOCK, and they are very good about selling your stuff. AI art.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because like you were saying too, is the with Adobe, what they did on that is they went through and they picked, this is like months ago before they came out with the program, they had quite a few images. Like they queried me about, they said they had like 90 images that might be usable that they could use. And they ended up taking like 40, and I forgot what I got for it, $40. And then I got another check or another one recently for 65. And I'm not sure where exactly how they use that, but that's where Adobe's getting all these images. And so their idea, or what it is I've been paid already for the content that they're using from me. And you add that to all the Adobe contributors. And that's why when you go through Adobe, it's already been, the creator has been paid for the use of that, for you to use that image. So that's how they get around that, so you can use that commercially. because you figure people like me have already been paid for the use of that image.
I was looking for that, is it AI, and I think I lost. There's.
Oh.
I was gonna put, because, Jennifer's, this is JPEG. That's really interesting that, Gary, that.
Thank you. I
I
didn't know if anybody was interested in that, but that's kind of the technical end of it.
So you go directly to Adobe and offer them the image?
When you do Adobe stock, you have to be accepted for Adobe stock, and then you can put images in, and if they're accepted, then people can buy them.
Nice.
Yeah, it's called a contributor account for an individual who wants to do that. But see, that's where Adobe's gotten all these images,
Mhm.
you know. So, yeah, because if they basically have millions of images, they actually bought out another. When they started doing stock, they got it because they bought another agency, that's how I got in with Adobe to start with. But it's nice because with Adobe, if you get enough downloads, you get the plan for free.
Nice. Thank
I
you.
see this looks like it's mostly AI, pretty likely to be AI, but isn't that Jennifer's original image?
Yes, it is.
Interesting. I'm getting a little concerned because it's almost 9 and we have portfolios still to get through. And this is fascinating. I hate to leave it, but
Yeah.
just thinking we ought to.
This is the end, but I also, I don't know, Steve, can you go through the portfolios just one after another and?
Yeah.
Nancy.
Let me wake up. Let's see.
Nancy, that was great. Very
Really,
interesting.
really
Yes.
very fun. Thank
Yes.
Thank you,
you.
Can't
Nancy.
wait to,
Yes, thank you, Nancy.
look
Yeah.
through.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Inspiring.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and I appreciate it.
Can't wait to see.
I'm glad it's done, and it was really,
Good job.
it was really interesting,
Yeah.
going through your pictures and doing things and thinking of how to let you play too. And we did play. We did a lot of play, which is what I mostly wanted, was to be interactive, and we were. So I should stop my share.
Yeah.
And hi.
Hi.
Yeah, still here.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to change a setting because it wasn't. Oh dear.
How many portfolios did we get?
8.
Wow.
Ellen is mostly done, but she still has to fill in some titles, and she's still got a few days. Let's see. Oh, apologize for that. Come on, competition manager. I had it on my screen, but I can't get it on the other monitor yet. Ah, okay, almost. And okay, let's see if this works. Okay. And do you now see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yep.
Okay, let me switch back to the program too. Of course, I've got Zoom full screen here. Let's see. On Zoom. Okay. This is Jennifer's.
Mhm.
Would you like me to read these?
Yeah.
Storm chasing. Storm chasing is an exciting visual experience with a large multi-sensory component. The ephemeral excitement of clouds, rain and lightning can be captured with a camera. The sensations of sudden wind, stinging rain, raging thunder, and sharp temperature drops can only be suggested. My intent is to convey the visual aspects while conjuring up the sensory experiences in the viewer's memories and imaginations. Two, the visual aspects of storms include clouds, lightning, and rain. Approaching thunderstorms are preceded by sudden wind and cool temperatures, heightening the total experience. A quick word. This is a review this evening because Sunday or Monday, I forget which, I'm going to be uploading the finished portfolios to N4C, and us here, Team SRPS, look for any typos or any anomalies you see because we want to polish these to be the best representation of SRPS. 3, the first challenge is to find a storm. This may involve using weather websites and driving many miles to find one and get out ahead of it. Late afternoon is prime chasing time. Clouds often take on sunset colors, sometimes enhanced by rainbows. Storm clouds can sometimes obscure lightning bolts for a different type of light show. The details of lightning bolts are far different from the ephemeral experience of a solid shaft of light, a delightful bonus of the time-freezing aspect of photography. And there it is, a bolt from the sky striking the earth, followed by a loud crash of thunder. Sometimes it all comes together. A light show in the clouds, a multi-pronged bolt, a backlit mountain, and the onrush of wind with the threat of imminent rain. A conjunction of atmospheric phenomena, lightning superimposed on a rainbow in the colorful early evening sky, puts on a memorable show. Thunderstorms can be huge. This one, seen from Tucson's Mount Lemmon, is 100 miles away in Mexico. and yet it is dwarfed by the Milky Way above it.
Hmm.
Comments?
Wow.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great, great.
Very
Wow.
nice. Very nice job.
Really beautiful.
Very polished.
Yes.
I
Well,
appreciate how far you had to go to get some of these. I bet you
we
have
drove
thousands.
hundreds of miles.
Yes.
And I really appreciate all the comments people made last time, because I took all those suggestions and worked on them. And if anybody sees anything they think I really need to work on, just please send me an email.
Oh, no, these are good.
You're beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
They're
you.
great.
Stunning.
I think you've got a real winner here.
I do
Yeah,
too.
really beautiful
Yeah.
work.
Really nice.
You got it. I think you nailed it.
I hope you show it around.
Especially those rainbow shots. I love those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah.
Got to have just the right place at the right time. A
There
little
was so much
sunshine.
color in all of the
Yeah.
pictures. Really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Teresa, this is an annual contest through N4C, the regional group, with a portfolio that we send in and compete with all the other. And last year we got what, 5 out of 6?
All 5 top.
Well, we didn't get first,
Didn't get first, right? We got
but we got. I mean, we
third,
did
fourth,
really
and
well.
fifth.
'Cause we really worked together on putting them. So these are portfolios that get sent in. And then
Wow.
it's shown at the
Annual.
event.
Whereas,
Thank you for filling me in.
pardon?
I said, thank you for
Oh.
filling me in, Nancy.
Yes, whereas competitions are all individual, this is where we come together and help each other, and look what we get.
Great.
Moving on. Nature's rainbow.
Hmm.
I am fascinated with colors, textures, and abstract compositions. I'm fascinated with the colors, textures, and abstract compositions I encounter in nature on my daily walks. I have divided my observations by color into mosaics to enhance the abstract textural visions I see. I am primarily visual, so I will let these windows into nature speak for themselves. Red. Orange.
Mhm. Yeah,
The title.
Yeah.
and fix it title.
Okay.
Yellow.
Mm,
Brown.
Nice.
mm.
Green.
Mm.
Aqua. Blue. Violet.
Hmm.
Pink. Oh,
Nice and good.
that's beautiful.
That
Nice.
is
Mhm.
really
Yes.
well done.
And
Mhm.
this is amazing. And
Yeah.
Steve, tell who it is at the beginning, because we all know this is Anne, but you know.
Oh, Anne, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Very
that.
nice, Anne. Yeah, very nice.
If I can make one
Great.
observation on the aqua and the blue, the bottom left image is, they're both succulents. I don't know if one could be flipped. Oops. You could see it on the summary. Yeah.
there you-
Oh, I think on 3 of them, the bottom left image are succulents. Just an observation.
Could I see the title page, please?
Okay.
I think I saw a little tiny typo. Yeah, next to the last line after the word visual, should there be a comma, or it has an extra space?
It looks like a double space.
Face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Good
And-
cat, good eyes.
Good eye.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I wish I
either
could
add a
see it on my
comma-
own.
Yeah.
Uh,
Either
the-
add a comma or take out a space.
Yeah.
Of course,
Uh,
that's a lot of work. If you don't if it's too hard to do, don't.
Yeah.
I agree.
Think of it as, when I was reading it, a comma works for someone who's reading it to give the right places to pause. And so, the top 3 lines have no comma. Oh, no, there's one
They
comma on
do.
the first line, but not on the second line. So try reading it and see if you would add a comma to make someone reading it seem more natural.
But and if it's too much trouble because you have to go in and change that, and I know how hard that is, don't. But if you can, do.
Oh. Thanks for the comments. Appreciate it.
It's
By
really
the way,
looking- it's really beautiful.
The arrangement of the
Mhm.
thumbnails around this is very nice.
Yeah, different than anyone else.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, the overview and the summary at the end are better than just about any I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah.
that's just stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make that
Yeah.
into a just
Stained glass.
print it as a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point about that comma, because after looking at it, when I took English, they would probably call that a run-on sentence. You have 2 sentences together without a punctuation mark.
I like that you included brown.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, me too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, really beautiful way to put the colors on. I really like them. They're striking too. I love that green and the purple together, just yeah, it really jumps out at you.
I like the way you did textures and set them side by side. It made it much more exciting.
Moving on.
Hmm.
Nancy. Styles and styling and masking, and letting it all shine through. Protective masks of many kinds are ubiquitous throughout Thailand. I begin this journey photographing in a Bangkok city bus, imagining each of 3 windows as vignettes of 3 masked women with 3 different stories to tell, leading me to gather other images illustrating how these Thai masked portraits still allow each personality to shine through, while you imagine the rest of their stories.
Mm.
Styles and styling and masking and letting it all shine through. 3 windows, 3 women, 3 stories. And so many more stories to imagine behind each mask. The story of the Muslim woman. The elderly woman selling lottery tickets.
Oh, there's
Tickers?
a type.
Tickers.
Tickers, yeah. Tickers.
Oh, thank you. That's easy.
Yep.
The awe and wonder in the kid's eyes.
Mhm.
There's 2 kids, so is it S apostrophe? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes. I know.
You go back. Yeah, one more. Yeah.
Oh, of course. Well, only one has a mask on, but
Oh,
yes, no,
But
yes,
they have awe and wonder.
yes,
Eyes.
yes. I usually am really good at that one. Thank you.
They both have masks. One just doesn't have it up.
the young boy with a bit of side-eye.
I love him.
Wonderful.
A fleeting glimpse behind a commuter's unexpected mask. The construction worker strutting in his most unusual yet quite functional mask. To the masked dude, styling in black leather. And finally, the napping tuk-tuk driver who should certainly win most creative use of a mask.
Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Very
Great
nice layout,
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
good.
nicely proportional.
Yeah, great idea, different.
I like how the first image leads the train.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Somebody suggested I change it from black, which I usually do black, and so I thank you. I was trying to get the color of surgical masks, but I got here and decided it was neutral enough. Thank you
It
for
kind of,
whoever
it made me
suggested
think
that.
tie.
Hmm?
For some reason, it made me think tie,
Oh,
the green.
Hmm.
I don't know why.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on.
Nice.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
This is Greg's. Invasive weed threatens life and property. 5 months after the destructive 2017 North Bay wildfires, a super germination of dormant Scotch broom seeds occurred within the burned zone. 5 years later, millions of seedlings have grown into tall, densely packed plants, filling all available spaces between trees, displacing wildlife, impeding native plant recovery, and increasing community risk of more intense wildfires. The intent is to expose the issue and show that Scotch broom can and must be eradicated. Windblown embers and intense heat destroyed this home and a nearby 50-year-old oak on October 9th, 2017. Fountain Grove, Santa Rosa.
Take
Double.
And there's an extra date.
5 months later, Scotch broom, Cytisus scoparius, seedlings emerge. Dormant seeds were forced to germinate by the fire's heat. Wildfires also kill wildlife. Survivors will be displaced by high-density Scotch broom patches. The plant's toxic leaves are not a food source. Scotch broom seedlings cover the ground in a green carpet extending over the horizon. Burn trees with white
X.
white X's
Mm-hmm.
will soon be removed. Seedlings were eradicated in the foreground by spraying, weed whacking, and pulling, but allowed to grow wild in adjacent properties. 5 years post-fire, unabated Scotch broom growth has expanded into tightly packed 10-foot tall plants, choking out native plants. Scotch broom is easily recognized in the spring by its display of bright yellow blooms. Plants bloom after only 2 years of growth. Each yellow bloom produces a fuzzy seed pod, up to 1,000 pods from each plant annually. Seeds are broadcasted when pods burst open. Should it be seeds are broadcast when
Yeah.
pods?
Yeah.
Each mature plant broadcasts over 10,000 seeds per year, 10 seeds per pod. Seeds can remain dormant in shaded soils for up to 80 years.
Mm-hmm.
Scotch broom survives 15 to 20 years, leaving a dense tinder biomass poised to fuel more intense wildfires. Its life cycle must be stopped.
Wow.
Very interesting.
What an
That is.
improvement, Greg. That is so
Good subject, yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's so true, yeah. I think, yeah.
Hey,
Excellent.
thanks a lot for
I
the
love the
comment.
background of your image.
Yeah, the
Mhm,
background
mhm.
is amazing.
really.
I wonder if, well, this one doesn't get evaluated, but I wonder if there's a way to do like 3, 4, 3. You know, 3 images, 4 images, 3 images. So there isn't just one on the bottom. Even though I think it makes a difference, even though they don't rate it.
What
I
are you
actually-
suggesting? I didn't follow that.
I actually kind of like it because on the bottom there, the left and right, you do see the black, monochrome trees. Whereas if all of the trees were covered, it would be too busy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And it,
like the lower one because it kind of brings it home. I mean, literally, that's somebody's home.
Yep.
Surrounded by this fire
Yeah.
kindling. And it is more distinctive at the bottom for me.
You can, as long as it's in the same aspect ratio, because I agree with what Teresa said, that you could even make that bottom picture scaled a little bit bigger.
Mhm.
That's good.
You mean scale a little smaller and wider?
No, scaled the same aspect ratio, which is what's required, and just make it bigger. Bigger.
it's pretty
Yes.
and destructive.
I didn't
Yeah.
have aspect ratio required of what? What's the
Required to
context?
be the same as the image within the portfolio,
Ah,
but you can make it proportionately bigger.
Right.
That's still allowed. And because of like what Teresa said, that's like bringing it home. It's like, look at this, which I know is what Greg is wanting to be seen. Now, on the first
That's a
one,
good suggestion.
on the first one, with the statement of intent, I wondered if the words were a little too small at the bottom because they could be made bigger. But it may
Yeah.
be your point, it may be how you want it to be.
If I made it bigger, I'd have to put in more lines.
Yeah, but you have space above.
I could put in more lines and make it bigger, but I thought this was a good grouping of the thought.
Yeah.
The thought of each.
Or
of
you
each
can
line
make the
has-
title, you can make
stands
the
alone.
title big, you can make the title bigger too, if you want. If,
with
It's-
with the font at the size, it made reading it very natural. If you start changing the font size, the words may switch lines or
wrap.
be out of place. I think it's actually very nicely laid out.
I have cataracts, so I'm more,
Hmm.
I wouldn't read it as easily, but that's just,
If you kept the same font size and everything else and just moved everything else up just the so that there's same space at top and same space at bottom.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good idea. Move the entire thing up slightly.
Does anybody have thoughts about the head title, invasive weed threatens life and property, is a totally different type of font than you have in the bottom? Would that be problematic at all, or does it just looks different? I don't know. In other words, should that title be have a font similar to the base, the rest of the image? I don't know.
My old
And-
graphic design education says it's fine to use 2 different fonts, but not 3.
Mhm.
I see.
But
Okay.
rules are made to break, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought the way it looked, just.
It really could use a couple more commas. Right now, it doesn't affect the reading it, but like the first line really needs a comma after it.
I mean,
Then there's a thing,
yeah,
millions of seedlings have grown into tall, should be a comma, densely packed plants. So I don't know how picky judges are about grammatical things.
Could I
Yeah.
give you something? I'm a terrible writer, but I discovered Grammarly, and I put every letter through it and gives me semicolons and commas where they're supposed to be, and it blows my mind that I could miss stuff like that. But it's really worth trying. It's called Grammarly.com.
Well, that's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, and if you put that whole set word, it'll do the same thing. And bottom line is that that's one idea of it. The other thing is that you could look at it because this is artistic content. Artistic content doesn't necessarily have to follow grammatic rules like poetry or whatever. It's a different rule. And I don't know. When I read it, I don't even think of that necessarily about where the commas are as much as I find the spacing of the words, sort of it's in the space, the
you're talking about,
horizontal spacing of the words flows correctly.
Right.
But anyway,
Like each line kind of can stand alone.
exactly,
Yeah.
like a haiku.
Yeah, it's just you have to take the chance of some, grammar crazy judge looking at it.
Well, you have to make that decision.
Only the judge knows the answer. Hey, thanks for those recommendations. I'll ponder that and
Yeah, and you caught that
play
where
around with it.
the date was in there twice in one of.
Oh, actually, it wasn't. If you can go to that chart.
I mean, I realize you were putting the date at the back, at the end of most of them, but it felt like it was, okay, go to it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to it. It's
Go forward.
I think
Go
it's
to
the next
go to
chart.
which slide, or do I need to scroll
Next
through?
slide,
Scroll through, we'll stop. Is it
right there.
Yeah.
I see they're different.
So the fire occurred on October 9th, 2017.
The
The
picture was
photograph was taken on October 22nd,
Too bad.
2017.
Too
And
bad.
if you look at all of these, I put the date in for when each of the photos was taken because it tells a story chronologically.
Yeah.
And you get a sense of time between one photograph and the next.
Yeah.
Good point.
I like
Maybe
your logic.
share for all of them because this one doesn't have one.
Yeah, I could have done that one there too.
I mean, you probably used up all your characters because you could have on that one,
I did.
those 2 dates, you could have had OCT, so that it
And
kind of a different mindset.
should this be X's or is X acceptable?
Should be X's.
I was okay with white X.
Because
Trees is
trees is plural, right?
Yeah,
Trees is plural.
grammatically
Yes,
it's
that's
There's only
true.
one X per tree.
Yeah.
There's not multiple X's per tree.
They just missing an A, the letter A.
Well, then it would be a white X, yeah.
Burn trees with a white X.
Yes, that would make sound better.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I mean, literally, it would have been
Take out those
each
poles
tree
too,
is
aren't they?
marked with a white X, but
Is the comma after whacking extra?
It's the Oxford comma, right?
It's an Oxford
Mhm.
comma. It's unnecessary, but it's an Oxford comma.
It's not wrong, but it's not necessary.
Exactly. We know our Oxford commas.
I'm a fan.
And
Mhm.
Grammarly is great for information.
Wow. This is so good. You really did a good job.
Yeah. Really
I
has
hate-
a lot of good information.
This is
And
my
this is
favorite.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Bella.
that
Fun.
This one, seeds are broadcast when
That's
pods
what an
first
art
open.
shot. Wait, the next one.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize
change
that
that
this
to broadcast.
plants
Yeah,
are
that one.
toxic.
I like the penny in there too. That's
Mhm,
great.
Yeah.
for scale.
Yeah, that's
This is just
excellent for
beautiful.
scale.
Beautiful
That-
picture.
That
That's,
really hits the story home for that one.
Yeah.
You know that white wheelbarrow that I had up there in that one photo?
No.
Hmm. Yeah, I saw the one.
Well, those are the seeds that were caught by the wheelbarrow when it was just sitting there.
Mm.
When the
Wow.
seed pods burst, they fly off the bush and they land like up to 10 feet away from the tree.
Gee, me.
The plants are an extremely efficient
Yeah, they're successful.
survivor.
We need to
It's
find
just
a bird
incredible.
that likes those seeds.
Okay, moving on.
Thanks for the comments. Appreciate them
Hey,
all.
Greg.
This is Ellen's. And Ellen, if you need any help getting this in by the deadline, call on me and I'll help you out.
Okay.
So, Dancing with the Dead. I have grown to appreciate the Mexican holiday, El Dia de los Muertos, especially by watching ballet folkloric dancers show respect by displaying photos of their relatives that have passed, and then joy in exuberant dancing, honoring the dead. Comma needed there after dancing? I don't know.
Yeah, well, the
For-
second sentence is a dependent clause, but
For a brief time, the border between the spirit world and the real world dissolve. The
Dissolve.
souls of the dead awaken and return to the living world to feast, drink, and dance with their loved ones.
Before moving on, a couple things.
Oh,
It should be El Dia
mhm.
instead of El Dio. It's El Dia de los Muertos. And then let's see, the other one is dissolves instead of dissolve. The border dissolves.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the second sentence, I mean, you could do a comma after the first line, or maybe ... especially, but especially by watching, that is not a sentence. If we're being pedantic.
Yeah, you're right.
I've lost you. I'm sorry.
The second line, starting with the second line, those three, the second, third, and fourth, that's not a sentence. It's a clause. It's not a complete sentence.
The second paragraph? Or the second
sentence.
Well, what you
Second
have,
sentence
the second sentence, okay.
it's not a
starts with
sentence, but yeah,
especially.
starting with
If you take
especially.
it by itself, Ellen, just read it by itself, especially by watching ballet folkloric dancers. I mean, it's not a complete sentence.
Okay, yeah, I
Maybe
get you.
especially by
I get
watching ballet, comma, folkloric dancers show respect. That's a sentence.
I'll work on it. Don't worry.
Yeah, if you put a comma after ballet.
No, it's ballet folkloric dancers.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
And it's not a sentence.
No.
and I'm not sure, is it ballet folkloric?
I think it's folkloric co. I meant float. It should be an O on the end.
Folklorico?
You got all that, Ellen?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Dancing with the Dead overview image. Now, this goes at the end. The old rules had it at the beginning, but this goes at the end. So I will help you get the sequence in order properly, because editing this can be slow and have some problems, and we have a time limit.
All she has to do is change the number in the title.
That should do it, but sometimes it can cause a problem.
Yeah.
And she's gonna then have to change all the other numbers too.
Yeah, you have to change all the numbers. Just go down.
That's not a big deal.
That'll
Yeah,
be-
I think it is.
Yeah, in your image library, if you do your edits all on the same page and then save changes, that works, rather than hitting the edit button for each one. Don't do that. Just do them all on the library page.
And within your square brackets, if instead of 1, 2, 3, you do 0, 01, 02, 01, 02, 03 to 10, 11, 12, or
Last
whatever.
It'll keep them all in
They will show in order. If you just do 1, 2, 3, 10 and 11 will show
Oh, it's a one.
it's a math thing. I mean, it's a,
And your overview image is terrific.
Yeah.
I love the colors.
Mm-hmm. And the
Let's-
images.
Let's see.
let's see them.
Now,
Oh,
Ellen's going to fill in the titles. So what I'm going to say here is to our members here, anyone toss out a title name.
Olay.
I thought the title was not required on the image.
Oh, it's not.
No.
You could do is, it's not required, but you could put 1, 2, 3, sometimes that,
Oh, just a
I don't
number.
know.
yeah. But it's not required. In fact, let the image speak for itself.
This is marvelous.
Ah,
Yeah,
I learned
beautiful
something.
dress, all what they put into it. Yeah. If we did do something like that, you could remark about the beautiful dress, the costumes, whatever.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
just
nice.
lovely.
Yeah.
Great
favorite
job.
ever.
That's a really nice portrait there.
Oh.
Mhm.
There's
Nice
all the
action.
movement.
Yeah.
There's so much movement in this one. It's just spinning.
Yeah. Yeah,
Teresa,
that really.
Friends.
Teresa, you raised a hand.
I'm sorry, I did that by mistake, but the truth
Okay.
is my husband's been waiting for dinner and I probably should go. I'm glad I got to see the overview first. And these are beautiful photographs and the portfolios are fantastic. I'm really glad I joined in and thank you for having me.
What?
Thank you for joining us.
recording.
Being here.
You bet, Teresa.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Right.
Night.
night. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Really.
Yeah.
So sad.
Another beautiful portrait there. That's great.
Okay, and then the overview image would go after that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Really
Any other
strong.
Really
Oh, Ellen.
nice.
any other comments?
There's if you go back, I don't know how many images. I think it might be just one, it might be two.
Just say stop when I get there.
This. Her eye is not sharp.
Hmm.
Wonder if there's any way to sharpen that eye. Her nose and her lips are sharp, but her eye doesn't look sharp to me.
If you have Topaz AI or Topaz Sharpen, there's a brush that you can sharpen an individual part of an image. And that's a possible way to sharpen just the eye would be to take your brush and just brush that. And I mean, it'd be a little tidy there, but they would sharpen just that part of the image.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful image. If you decide not to change it, I don't think it'll make that much difference. It's kind of stood out as that eye not being sharp.
Yeah, and usually that's the most important part of any image. You always want that eye sharp. So some people
Gary, that brush, was that in Topaz?
Oh,
AI?
Topaz Sharpen if you have the
Yeah.
newer one, and Topaz Sharpen, and then you go down near the bottom, and there's a way there to select a portion of the image and just sharpen that portion of the image.
Okay, great. I haven't tried that.
Yeah, so sometimes that it's a little tedious, and it might take a little bit for you to learn, figure out how to use it, but it works.
It worked great, and then you don't over sharpen the other parts of the image.
Oh, you
Mhm.
tried
Really
it. Great.
useful.
Thank you.
We use it a lot.
Oh, good.
Anything else?
Beautiful portfolio.
Gorgeous.
It's lovely.
Yay. Thank you. I have zero time to, well, I have a little bit of time, I guess, Sunday to work on it.
Before Saturday.
On Saturday.
Does anyone find the faces here a little dark to where, they could be lightened up just a touch? The shadows on the faces.
Yeah, I lightened the shadows, and yeah, I would agree this is the weakest image. I just don't know if I have any time to work on it.
And if you change something materially, you need to change it in the overview.
Oh, right, in the overview.
Although
yeah.
I wouldn't like, I don't know if it would be noticed. Trisha would know.
But I'm not a judge, so.
Yeah.
But you've seen them judge.
I love this image.
I do too.
So striking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is nice. I mean, not just her costume, but the way she has her chin up in the air.
Yeah.
It's a proud look. Like, I really believe in what's going on here.
The black.
Proud and a little bit defiant.
Yeah, that's right. You can read that different ways. But it's it's this kind of thing in a portrait you want to find. And
Keep your chin up.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah. In this case,
If I were going to title it, it would be a title in Spanish, majestuosa, majestic.
Proud, proud to be.
Okay, moving on. Bill, wave action, statement of intent. Do you need to say statement of intent?
No.
In this portfolio, I introduced the viewer to a seashore location offering side views of the surf, views perpendicular to the motion of the breaking waves. I demonstrate that this side view puts on display the spectacular power and complexity of the surf and, sometimes, the shapes of horses. Rock barriers at both sides of the parking area at Goat Rock Beach provide vantage points for viewing breakers from the side. Ever-present gulls add to the soundscape. When the surf is up, the side view shows in one image the buildup and crashing collapse of a breaking wave. Longer photo exposures reveal two patterns of motion, flow and explosions. Flow. Explosions. An offshore breeze blows back the crest as the wave advances, creating what poets and artists for centuries have imagined as a plunging white horse. The plunging white horses form the curl of the breaking wave. Inside the curl, Baroque shapes evolve and descend from the ceiling.
Wow.
And sometimes, briefly, horse-like creatures appear.
Yeah. One suggestion is flow had a period after it, didn't need it. And the other word that you had did not have it. So for consistency.
Which slide was that?
Which
One that
slide?
said flow.
Hmm.
The one that said
Four.
flow.
Yeah.
Nope.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good eye. Thank you.
Hmm. Right.
I love this one.
Actually, my favorite too.
Wow.
So unique.
Nice. Nice, Bill. Yeah.
The
Thank you.
one that you showed just before that said curl of the breaking wave. No.
No, go back the other way.
Oh, it's after that one.
Here, I think it could be more dramatic if you're going to capitalize curl, also capitalize breaking and wave to form the curl of the breaking wave.
Good point.
I mean, it just
Yeah.
it has a drama to it.
Yeah, that's good. I agree.
Or if you didn't like that, curl could be, in like a
Lowercase.
quote kind of thing. But
Mhm.
I look for, like effect.
You ever do italic?
Yeah, I wanted to emphasize curl, but I agree. Breaking wave also could be
Yeah.
capitalized.
And if you wanted to emphasize curl, have it lowercase with a, you could have single quote around it, perhaps. But either way brings out what you want to bring out.
Yeah, thanks.
Artist choice. Or you could
Wow.
even say inside the curl, the could be capitalized if you wanted to.
I've gone through many versions.
Yeah.
It's better every time.
Yeah, I've had a lot of help from all of you on this. I really appreciate it. As you probably noticed, maybe there's only one image that's the same as the first time we went through it.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the last
Nice.
one.
On your statement of intent, there's a lot of space. You could break the sentences into separate paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah.
gives emphasis also that way.
Well, definitely
And
helping
also,
my.
your very last one, like taking out statement of intent on this one, you could take out overview on the last one. Because
Mhm.
it's in the title
And
already.
you could put wave action in instead of overview. You can put, I do put the title in it. It kind of.
Yeah,
So,
he had the title and then he had overview.
okay, yeah, get rid of those.
Yeah, you think if this was centered,
What do you mean?
the title page was not generated to the left. What is that called?
Oh, justify.
Justify. Just have it centered in the middle.
Oh yeah, center.
Yeah, I think I would suggest reading it aloud and looking where your line breaks are. So like in this portfolio, I introduced the viewer to a seashore location offering side views of the surf, and then put views on the third line.
Mhm.
Views
Mhm.
perpendicular, so to the motion of the breaking waves, and then move I to the next line. I think it just would be easier to read. It would be more like how you speak.
And I would make the I demonstrate a new paragraph, leave space in
Yeah,
between.
Yeah, I think that's good. So then instead of the hyphen, it should be a comma probably. If it's going to be at the end of the line, I hate hyphens at the end of lines.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good.
Then there's my favorite, the ellipsis instead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's getting to be that time of year again to start watching those waves. You got me excited now.
We'll see
Yeah.
each other out there.
Yeah, the big
Had the
surf will be
eclipse.
coming pretty soon. Yeah.
They've been happening recently. I watched Surfline. So
Oh,
yeah, it's taken over from that other one that is no longer with us. Forget the name. Anyway, Surfline is pretty good in predicting the big waves.
Oh, cool.
In fact, the image of the horse is the last one I did. It was just only a few weeks ago. And it was with the 15 to 18 feet waves.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. The
For-
big movers.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
horse
that's
is
now. Where did you take a lot of these at Goat Rock or?
all at Goat Rock.
Okay. Yeah. I
So-
found
Oh,
a
Goat
few
Rock.
off salmon, but you need a long lens.
Now, the whole point is this is all at Goat Rock.
All at Goat
So,
Rock.
so Bill, where is Goat Rock if you live in the peninsula area?
It's up north somewhere.
Yeah.
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 Just wondering if
No,
you want to
it's
add
near the
Sonoma
mouth of
County,
the Russian
California.
River.
Yeah,
on the Sonoma
You gotta
coast.
ask, you ain't never gonna find out.
But
Yeah,
they
On
Sonoma
the
Coast
Sonoma
State
Coast,
Park.
that's a good
Yeah.
Sonoma
idea.
Coast, Sonoma Coast, that's got a romance to it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Goat Rock State Park.
On the Sonoma coast.
Go back to the first picture, Steve. I'm gonna look and see how I said that.
Okay, moving on.
We're going back to the first picture.
Oh, back to the first.
Yes,
The
please.
field- the,
I could-
state, the
Of
state
Bill's.
First image. There.
First image.
Now stay there.
Goat Rock Beach.
So isn't Goat Rock Beach identifying this enough, or do you think there's more? Because we've only got 200 characters.
Maybe it's in Hawaii. I don't know.
Could
You
you
know,
add
if I
Sonoma
live in,
Coast?
if I live, you know, in Palo Alto, I don't know.
So Google Goat Rock Beach.
Yeah.
You really want to know.
You could put it in, is it?
I've
is it
I've
worth
I've
putting into
puzzled
your-
over this a lot, and
Yeah,
every
and you
word
don't
has
have to.
been working
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't
decided
fit in
that
the
If
statement.
you said Goat Rock Beach, that would be sufficient for someone to figure out where it is.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay, you're.
you're the
you've
boss.
thought about
I
it.
know you could wordsmith it to death.
And I have.
Moving on.
Okay. Thanks all of you for the help.
Nice, Bill.
Nice.
Sherry. Yellowstone in the Mist. Yellowstone National Park at sunrise is a breathtaking sight to behold. The park's diverse landscape and geothermal features make for a stunning and unique experience during the early morning hours. Fog, steam, sun, rain, and clouds combine to create a beautiful alchemy in the world's first national park. I set out to capture the magic and mood that is Yellowstone on a wet and misty morning.
Good writing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Early morning, Black Sands Basin. Abyss Pool, West Thumb Geyser Basin. Fog Bank, Grand Loop Road. Big Cone, West Thumb Geyser Basin. Travertine Terraces, Mammoth Hot Springs. Blackpool, West Thumb Geyser Basin. Cistern Spring, Norris Geyser Basin. Firehole River at sunrise. Sunrise, West Thumb Geyser Basin. Comments?
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
On
I'm
your,
just struck
your-
by the same style in all of the pictures. It just goes together so nicely.
Yeah.
All sort of have a, foggy, soft kind of impression. Just absolutely gorgeous.
Really beautiful.
Thank you.
On your overview, on your statement, the last sentence or the sentence could be a separate paragraph because you're telling about what you're going to do.
Okay.
It's a different point of view.
Thank you.
I wonder if your titles are not as romantic as this part. Does it make sense?
Good feedback. Thank you.
And one place you said at sunset, and the next one you started with sunset. You might want to be consistent unless you think it's too boring that way.
Well, actually, as Steve was reading it, you know how when someone, it's like, I think I need to take sunrise out because they're all sunrise. So thank you.
They're beautiful.
What's the sunrise thing you mentioned? I'm unfamiliar with the concept.
Oh, sunrise. See, because they're all
Firehole River,
sunrise, so I can
sunrise.
take just Firehole River.
Oh, it seems like a nice thing. Maybe I should see one someday.
I know, it's gorgeous. Okay. Thank you for the
They're
feedback.
beautiful.
Nice.
Nice.
I really like the color you chose for the background on this.
Yeah, the
Oh,
tonality
thank you.
works.
Thank you
Yes,
very much.
definitely.
Professional.
Moving on. Trisha, almost people. They stopped me in my tracks. These almost people fashioned from fiberglass and dressed to impress. Their personalities cry out for recognition. Their expressions plead to be seen and understood. I have a special relationship with them. Recognize their presence in my world with a photograph that acknowledges their almost personhood. They give me their names. I provide a glimpse into their lives. Madeline visits the city. Dirk dreams of a brighter future. Tanisha worries that she might not get the part. Visiting from Russia, Magda assesses her surroundings. Corinne is ready for any challenge. Lily awaits a call from her agent. Finally in the spotlight, Mercedes sings from her heart. Giselle dares anyone to stand in her way. Joe the lineman has spent way too much time in the sun. Pearl's life was not. Is that a space without blemish? Is that a double space?
I'll check it.
Oh, in
Between not and without?
Right, looks like it.
Bravo.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
Good.
That's great.
Very, very clever. Very clever.
I
Yeah.
like how you
Wonderful.
put the font and the way you put it on at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank
And it's
you.
from the heart. It's really
You
beautiful.
always amaze me in the ideas that you come up with.
Yeah, it's great.
This year, it might be pictures I've taken in public restrooms.
Oh.
I'll go head to head with you on that one.
Pardon the pun.
I made a joke. I didn't
Oh,
mean
I
it.
made a pun.
That was a great
Yeah, really. That was worth waiting till the end just for that one right there.
Spectacular, Tricia.
Really.
The judges
Thumbs
have
up, very
work cut
nice.
out for them, I
They
think.
do. Go SRPS.
I'd have to
Really?
say, really.
Yeah.
How do you decide between these different fabulous
They're all so
ideas?
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so different.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
I have a feeling SRPS is going to give them a run for their money this year.
I
Again.
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
We are
All
not-
did wonderful.
We are not resting on our laurels.
No way.
Moving on. Oh, I guess that's it.
Oh,
So
All
moving on.
right.
thanks,
So,
Steve, for
Yeah, thanks,
showing us.
Steve.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and what a great meeting.
Yeah, Nancy,
A
thank
really
you.
great
Yeah.
meeting. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks, Nancy.
Yes,
Yeah, that
thank
was
you.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't find my end share button.
Oh.
November 7th.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Night
Night.
all.
Bye.
Thank
Night.
you.
Thank you all.